James, thank you so much for coming in to chat to us today on the U Generation Network on YouTube. Now, the U Generation is all about helping young, aspiring talent and having advice and help from someone like yourself in the industry to help them. So we really do appreciate you coming in.
It's an absolute pleasure. You're going to tell people where we are. We're somewhere in London, aren't we?
We're somewhere hidden in the depths of London.
I think we're in the Google building.
We are in the Google building. It's really cool. It's really cool in here.
It's a really cool building.
But what is also really cool is your album, and can I just say it is doing incredibly well.
Which was a really genuinely surprise to me, because having locked myself in the studio for a year and made something that I loved, I had no idea whether people would like it or not themselves, so I'm thrilled by what it's doing. Thanks to you guys.
No, congratulations, it is really, really wonderful album. Now, we have been inundated with questions on Twitter about the new album. People want to know, it's called Moonlanding. Can you tell us a little bit about what inspired the album, and why is it called Moonlanding?
Well, it's called Moonlanding really because of the journey of locking me in a studio for a year with only one other person, my producer Tom Rothrock, who I recorded my first one with, back to Bedlam 10 years ago. But we locked ourselves away in a studio in Los Angeles, like a little capsule, and made an album that sounds kind of old school and nostalgic and lonely, and just the sound of it itself sounds a bit like the Moonlandings.
It's fantastic. I mean, what kept you kind of occupied, just the two of you? Did you have any cool activities that you did?
Well, we were working through that time. You know, it's a pretty expensive studio time, so we really do work hard. I would go in from about 10 in the morning till about 1 in the morning, and you know, then I suppose in the studio, which we fill with these beautiful old vintage instruments, I then plod my way around and play all of them. Tom Rothrock, the producer, has to be such a patient man to let me do all of this, and I make a noise on everything. Some things like an organ, which you have to pump with your feet to get air into it before you play the keys, like a old school church organ, to the ukulele, you know, to any kind of instrument in between.
God, some of these instruments I've never even heard of. There's a whole array of instruments.
Absolutely.
In here.
And so I suppose for me, a musician, it's kind of it's like being a child in a toy shop.
Yeah.
You know, I'm having fun. That's probably why it took a year to make.
Now, we have got one of our YouTube stars, Alex Day, who's going to join us on the Hangout. Alex has a question about the track Bonfire Heart, which is from your album. Alex, what is your question for James?
Oh, Alex, I can see you. I can't hear you. Hold on.
Hello. Sorry, I had to unmute
myself. Yay! We have James.
Alex, how you doing? I can hear you loud and clear.
Cool. So what I wanted to know was like the song Bonfire Heart. It sounds really awesome. It sounds like really big and modern and like really anthemic. And I kind of wondered if you, because I've never heard like you release a song like that before, and I didn't know if it was something that when you were writing it, you were like trying to get that sort of sound on purpose, or whether it was just something that happened more organically, like in the studio.
I think it just was because of the way the song was written. The actual lyrics of the song talk about people like us. We don't need that much. Just someone to light the spark and our bonfire hearts, and it's kind of all inclusive. And I wrote it on the road with Ryan Tedder, and I was in his concerts actually, the One Republic concert. I would be in the audience and looking at the show, reading the audience, because I don't normally get to see a concert from that angle. And then so I was writing words about that kind of experience. And then as we were recording, thinking, you know, we need to layer it up with voices because that's what it should be. It's about the, you know, humans as a whole rather than me as an individual.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you, Alex.
It's a pleasure. Very nice to talk to you.
You too.
Now we've got a question from one of our TYGNers on the Hangout. Let's go to Awkward Elise. Hello, Elise.
Oh.
Have we got Elise? Drum roll.
There's Elise.
There she is. Hello, Elise. What's your question for James?
Do we need to unmute that? Hold.
Have we got Elise?
Looks like we're muted at the moment. So
we might be muted.
Can we unmute her?
I'm gonna be Elise. I'm gonna be Elise. Right. What is the most important thing to look out for in the music industry as an aspiring singer or new artist? So obviously Elise is wanting to kind of break out in the industry.
So
what can she do?
When you want to on that mute button. Elise, I've got your question, and I hope you can hear in the first place. What do you need to look out for when you're going into the music business? Well, I think first and foremost, you know, to be a musician is just to love music, to get pleasure from that. And you know, and to aspire to fame and fortune is probably the wrong thing in the first place. I think one should not aspire. That's not a measure of success. A measure of success probably is happiness. Happiness, and whether you're enjoying being a musician. Happiness in in life is probably a better measure of success, isn't it, than the things you acquire. And But then if you do want to take your music and you do want to go into the actual industry itself, then you've got to understand it's a dark and dangerous world, and I think you've got to get a good manager. And so if you're looking for a record deal, don't go wandering to a record company yourself, because you can't speak for yourself and you can't say how great you are. You need someone else to go and do that for you, and that person is the right manager.
So is it hard to get a manager, or how do you get that manager interested in you?
Yeah, it's definitely hard to get a manager as well. I mean, what I did, I was in London. It was my last year in the army. I was the Queen's mounted bodyguard at the time, but I was doing these small shows,
Yeah.
and I was inviting record companies down and saying, give me a record deal. And I got refused and rejected by every record company. And what I realized at that stage is that I really need to have someone to speak for me, someone also who knows the business, someone who can make the record companies want me rather than the other way around. And so actually I did small shows and I asked different managers to come down. So, you have to then find some contacts with management companies, write into management companies, send management companies your demos, don't send them to record labels.
So you just got to keep going and thick skin.
Definitely, and also because when you do eventually go to a record company, you only get one shot. If you're going to go to, let's say, Atlantic Records, which I'm on, you only get one shot through that door. So when you do go through that door, you want all the songs ready, you want a manager to speak for you. So yeah, my advice is hold off and forget the record company first. Go and get the manager.
And preparation, by the sounds of it, you need to be prepared.
Yeah, and I suppose you need to write songs. You can't go in with one song or two songs. You've got to go and you've got to have as many songs as you can, so you can. So you can really select the best songs that you have on your little armory. Yeah,
well, I hope that answered your question, Elise. Now a question from, I hope I'm saying this right, Kiana Encinas, who is in the Hangout. What's your question for James?
Hi, can you see me?
We can.
We can see you and we can hear you, and you're looking great.
Okay, thank you. My question is, as a songwriter, what's your writing process, lyrics or melody first?
I think there's no rule, and it just sort of changes. I suppose if I have written some lyrics beforehand on their own, I would think it probably turns out to be a more interesting, probably a better songs, in some ways. So the lyrics to You're Beautiful, my most famous song, I wrote in about 2.5 minutes, and I just had them all in a flash, and they just all made sense. There's a song called Wise Men on my first album. Again, I kind of just wrote all of those and hung on to those lyrics. It took me about 5 years to write the song in the end, but the lyrics themselves I'd written. And then other songs, I do a bit of music and I add the words afterwards, but if I'm doing that, it means I'm writing words to fit into certain gaps, and I can feel that. And I don't know if it's not as spontaneous, it won't necessarily be as natural that way. But no rules in any way. It can come either way.
Fantastic question. Thanks, Kiana.
Before you go, Kiana, are you a songwriter yourself then, are you?
I am, yeah.
Cool. What are you doing for that? How's it going?
I am currently working on learning how to play the ukulele and guitar better, but I always write my lyrics first because I feel like it's more natural.
Yeah, that's cool. I've been learning the ukulele too, mainly because it makes me feel big, because it's such a small instrument. And I learned it from an app off my phone. I learned it from, I'm sure I'm not probably supposed to say on any kind of chat like this what app it is, but I use this app called Guitar Toolkit, which is like the ultimate guitar tuner, and then it taught me in an afternoon how to play ukulele, so it's cool.
That's awesome.
But really nice to talk to you, and good luck with it, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope I get to hear some of your songs someday. Maybe you should send me the link to your stuff.
Yeah, send them through, Kiana.
I will. Thank you so much.
Other apps available.
Great to talk to you.
Now, back to a couple of questions from Twitter. Lots of people wanting to know, this is a good one, I like this one a lot. How long did you chase your dream before you finally became a famous musician, and how did you get your first record deal?
Well, I think I said I was going to be a professional full-time musician when I was about 14 years old. Mm-hmm. And I probably put my first album out when I was about 28. So yeah, it was a long old time. But in many ways, when I was 14, I still had to learn how to play the guitar. I had musical ideas, which weren't even songs then. I had to then write those songs. I had to go and find a record deal. And my process of getting a record deal was to get a manager, who still manages me now, some 10 years after he started managing me. I think we started work together in 2002 when I left the army. And then I got a publishing deal first with EMI. So, and they then said, they believed in me as a songwriter, so they gave me a publishing deal. And then when I had that funding, from those publishers, I went over to the States. I played in a festival called South by Southwest, and a woman called Linda Perry, who she wrote songs like Beautiful by Christina Aguilera and Get This Party Started by Pink. She wrote those songs, and she signed me to her record company called Custard Records, an indie label. So that was my kind of, and then I went out and recorded the album with Tom Moffat in Los Angeles and put it out. So it was a long old process.
Did you kind of ever feel like, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are kind of trying, and they've been trying for years. Do you ever get to that point where you were just like, I do not know how much longer I can go on, and what made you keep going?
Yeah, I don't think I ever reached that moment. I think, you know, what made me keep going, or at least what made me probably make the jump from being a soldier to actually getting out and pursuing it, you know, full-time, committed, is because I told all my friends that I was going to be a professional musician. And after 8 years of telling them that I was going to do that, it kind of got a bit boring when they said, "Oh, James, how's it going? When are you going to leave the army?" And I kind of put myself in a corner. So you know, and that's still useful to do in the first place.
Right, I think we're going to head back to Twitter. I've got a little cheeky one here from Donna Saxon. She would like to go out to dinner with you. She wants to know, what do you like, eat in or go out, or Italian, Mexican, Chinese, or burgers? I'm
ex-army. I eat any old junk, but I'm terrible in the kitchen myself. So I'd much prefer to go out, please, if we may. Love a bit of Mexican. Probably going to have a curry tonight, and ordered myself a Domino's pizza already this afternoon. I just live on junk food. You know, a burger anytime.
So Donna can expect a whole host of things.
If it's for Donna, I'm going to have a kebab.
Kebab, nice way. Right, we're going to head back now to the Hangout. Now for another question from one of our TYGNers, official Shabnam. Are you there? What is your question for James?
Hello, James. How are you?
Shabnam, I'm really well. What a great name you've got.
Oh, thank you. So my question to you is, when you're on tour, do you and the band have any pre-show rituals?
Yeah, the band probably have, you know, 1 or 2 drinks to get themselves, just because they need the confidence. I don't actually. I like to do every one of my shows without anything, because I really want to engage with an audience. I don't want to be, I don't want to be distracted or not myself actually. What do we do? I like to check that my flies are done up on my trousers. I think that's important when I go out on stage. And I suppose in the half an hour before the show, we do get together, at least in the same room then, you know, so that we're a band. Because although it says my name on the ticket, it really is a band performance, and I really want to make it feel like a band performance. And so we need to engage with each other and come around, you know, and so yeah, we do that. And maybe just before we step on stage, we do sort of look each other in the eye and get a grip of each other and say, you know, don't cock up.
That's nice.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Nice to talk to you.
Thank you. Just to reiterate on that then, James, with the kind of ritual thing, do you have like a big kind of camaraderie with the band? You know, you all kind of get on, and you must kind of build such a big relationship with each other from being on tour and away from home so much.
Hugely. I mean, I've been touring with my band for 8 years. They are some of my closest friends in the world. We sleep together. On a tour bus of 12 men together. I sleep in a bunk the size of a coffin. My drummer is just above me on his coffin in his bunk, with a curtain separating us onto the corridor, and the keyboard player, the electric guitarist on the ones opposite, and we're a proper little family on the road, you know. And as we all get older and grow up, and different people have different, you know, commitments to family, for instance, and you know, if someone's gone off to have a child, there's a couple of them occasionally. It feels like we're missing one of the family when they do have to step away, and always a relief and a joy when they come back and get back in our little tour bubble.
Oh, we want to come. That sounds so nice and homely.
There's room on the bus. There's room on the bus for more.
No, well, we are super excited because we've got Hazel Hayes on the Hangout, who has a very successful channel called Chewing Sand. Hazel, hello. What is your question for James?
Hi, James. Firstly, thank you for taking the time out to chat to us today.
It's a pleasure, Hazel.
So what I'm wondering is, I've heard that you have recorded a lot of the stuff in Carrie Fisher's house, famously in her bathroom. I'm wondering if you were a Star Wars fan before you met her and went there, or if she's converted you.
Well, I don't think I was a mad Star Wars fan, but like any boy, I suppose, you know, from that of my age, my young age, I'm in my 20s. I had definitely seen all those movies and loved them for what they were. I don't think I was a mad fan, but I just enjoyed the movies. And then yeah, when I met her, then of course it was kind of thrilled to be in such a mad house, because it really is a mad house. She has little movie set pieces that she's taken from sets of these movies. You know, as you walk in, there'll be a chandelier hanging from a tree in the garden. There are signposts saying, as you come up the driveway, saying "Once upon a time."
Wow.
Then you go further up, and the next signpost says "Far, far away." Another weird and wonderful stuff. And she put outside my bedroom at night a cardboard cutout of herself when she was you know in Star Wars, with her hair in the buns and
Was it the gold bikini or the
gold
white?
bikini outfit, and she
Wow.
protected me at night, and that is, I think, probably why I am safe and alive and well today. She gave me a lightsaber when I left the last time as well.
Wow, does that come on tour with you?
No, I leave my lightsaber at home.
I'm very jealous. Thank you for that.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Hazel. Okay, so next up we have Ostea Stagite. What is your question for James?
Hi, James.
Hey, Ostea, how's it going?
Good, very well, thanks. I wanted to ask you, who are your influences in music and the songs that you write? Because people ask me all the time, so.
Before I tell you, then tell me what you do with music.
I write, I produce, I sing, so I do it on the go at home in the studio, and it's a lot of electronica sound, so people ask me who inspires you, so I want to find out what inspires you and what are the singers and songwriters that inspired you.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think in many ways I've enjoyed, at least at the very start of my career, and with this album I've done now, I've really tried to not have too many influences, and I think I've really enjoyed being slightly naive to lots of music, because I think the more I felt I have known or tried to sound like other people or be influenced by them, the more I sound like them and not necessarily myself all the time. And I think my third album, it was one called Some Kind of Trouble, I was really thinking of filling my arenas with sound. You know, I was playing these quite big arenas, so I'd pick up an electric guitar and fill it with sound, and kind of live all those childhood dreams I'd had of being this front man of a band, playing the electric guitar, playing to thousands of people. But the songs I was doing were kind of like the songs that I'd perhaps been influenced by and heard as a teenager through the 80s. And I don't think necessarily it's what I, you know, do best, which is give more of myself. And so this album, as well as my first, I think I was probably uninfluenced by other people and enjoyed that. However, then, if you think, you know, what music I really dig as a musician, I think probably from the early 70s, it was a golden era of the singer-songwriter of Paul Simon, of Cat Stevens, of Elton John, Lou Reed, the late Lou Reed, David Bowie, Fleetwood Mac as a band, really fantastic stuff. And then production-wise, in more modern stuff, I think I have really enjoyed Elliott Smith. He's the reason I work with Tom Rothrock, who also produced him. An amazing singer called Cat Power, who I'm sure lots of people might have heard of, but who's a phenomenal, sort of fragile singer and performer. Yeah, that's what I would say. Elliott Smith and Cat Power in modern times.
Big old list there. Does that answer your question?
Yes, absolutely. Thanks very much. That's very interesting.
Well, before you go, then, where can we get your stuff from?
Just go to my channel, Ostea Music, or I can send you my songs. My EP's out now on YouTube, on iTunes and Amazon as well.
You do that. Ostea Music. I will check it out. Very nice to meet you.
Alright, great.
Thank you, Ostea.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to come back to some more questions via Twitter. I want to know this a lot. What does the line, "Are we satellites," mean?
Yeah, the song Satellites is about how when we are in a bar or a restaurant or a pub, you just see people nowadays not talking to each other, but all on their smartphones.
Oh, I can't stand it.
And you know, and I'm guilty as the next person really. But you know, what are we doing? We're normally checking our own digital wall somewhere to see if anyone's commented on the picture of our food.
Yeah.
And so yeah, the song is just, are we all, you know, acting as some kind of digital satellites rather than having a conversation with the person who's sitting next to us.
I know. I really feel like that. I feel like you sit in restaurants so much nowadays, and it is happening, and I'm so conscious of doing it myself. So we should stop this. Now, I really want to know this. What happened to your guitar that you carried with you in the tank when you were in the army?
The guitar, it's a really good question, because I wanted to put that guitar in the tank where it'd be safe, but there was no room. I had to keep the soldiers in the tank, and so I was forced to put the guitar on the outside of the tank. It survived the war. I brought it back here. I was looking for a record deal. I nearly got a record deal with EMI, and I was recording some demos with them, and as I finished recording these demos, I got on my massive great motorbike that I had, a big Moto Guzzi. I put my guitar over my back, and I rode away saying, "See you guys," and about 1 mile an hour I lost balance, fell over, smashed the mirror, the indicator, and the guitar. The bike was really heavy, so they had to help me pick it up, and off I left, thinking what an idiot I am. Didn't get the record deal, and the guitar is still live, just about playable, with with a massive great crack and smash in it, and it is in the attic of my house. And at some stage I'm going to find a good place, some kind of charity to give it to auction it off, I think.
So it made it through war, but not through London.
Exactly that.
That's a title. That's a new song. Okay, and when will the Heart to Heart music video be out?
We are literally finishing the Heart to Heart video right now. Someone is editing away at it as we speak, and I think it's going to come out either on Thursday or Friday.
Oh, is this an exclusive?
No, I think someone...
Damn! I thought we had something there. At least you know.
Friday the 13th. Unlucky for some.
But not for you, James. Now, back to the Hangout. Jamal Hajakura, I'm sorry if I didn't say that right. You are on the Hangout. What is your question for James?
Hi, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Can hear you, Jamal, yes.
Hi, I was going to say I'm an actor, so I was just wondering, I have an agent for that, and I was wondering, for singing, it's a lot different. Do you have any good tips for anyone that's trying to be an up-and-coming singer like myself?
Yeah, as you say, definitely acting and management, acting and music agents are very different, aren't they? Along the way I've been asked if I want to do some acting, and various companies have spoken to me about representing me in that. Not doing it, by the way, because I just don't think it'd be very good. But I know they're very different, and I suppose perhaps the danger is, as anyone starting off, getting yourself with one person who says, yeah, I'll manage you, I'll represent you for both management, acting, and this and that, sign here. And so I think whatever it is that you do, make sure you get the right person representing you for the right thing, make sure that they have experience in what they do, make sure that they really know what they're talking about and they have contacts. And also perhaps don't sign anything with anyone, because to begin with they'll probably want you to sign something. In the end, you should be really wanting to sign to them if they obviously give you the goods, put you in the right places, put you in the right interviews and meetings. So I think it's just about taking your time and making sure you're working with the right, really good people.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Great to talk to you.
Okay, so we've got one more question on the Hangout. We've got it from Mixtronis Vod. What is your question for James? Hi!
Hey guys, how's it going there? We can't hear you. Are you muted at that end, are you? I can see a little mute button on your... Oh, there it is.
We're really shaking.
We're really shaking. I'm Amelia.
Hello.
So listen, where are you? Where in the world are you guys?
Singapore.
Singapore.
Fantastic. It's an amazing place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a question for you.
Go ahead.
If you could have dinner with any man or women throughout history, who would you choose?
Well, I mean, pretty relevant this week, I suppose, would be Nelson Mandela. Because I think what an amazing human being to have gone through so much in his life, to have been imprisoned for so long, to be treated so incredibly badly, to step out victorious and be in a position where he could probably do anything, and what he did was to say to all those around him, we must reconcile, we must not seek revenge, we must, as you say, reconciliation was his word, and that notion of compassion is extraordinary, and so unnatural. And we're working here online, and you'll see masses of people on Twitter who are so aggressive, so unkind, and so mean, just because they can be, just because we can, because it makes us friends at school if we're horrid to other people, and other people other humans follow, like sheep. And I think, yeah, a man like Nelson Mandela taught something completely different, which was about, compassion and understanding people from the other side and looking out for people.
Good answer.
You look really great.
Cool. I loved visiting Singapore. It was the most amazing country and place, and I'm hoping to come to the Grand Prix as well at some stage because that looks incredible.
They love you here. We love you here.
Aww.
Fantastic. Well, very nice to talk to you. Thanks so much for coming along.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so since we have been here in the Hangout, me and James are going to have a little look after we've had our chin wag.
Do I tell you what? I've lost the password. I think
We've lost the
someone else's
password.
password. So should we go and ask who's?
We've lost the password, but
I need Toby Dale's password, and then I'm going to open up his computer and see if I can find any more.
well, in the meantime, we can have a little look because I have got some other questions that have been coming in here. We've got one from @Julia Sommer. She wants to know, what's your favourite animal?
My favourite animal in the whole world, I love ants. I think ants are the most incredible creatures en masse, the way they are, but the way they work with each other, the way they look out for each other. I'm handing that over for a password. I live in Spain, and there are masses of ants, and I can sit there watching them at work forever.
There are so many ants in Spain. I've been there. They love it.
I spend quite a lot of time. Spend quite a lot of time talking to ants. And maybe I'm very lonely.
I don't think we should have admitted that.
Very
So,
lonely
we're gonna
human
go back
being.
to this idea. Since we've been having a good old chinwag, me and James, there's been lots of activity on Twitter. So, James, you're going to pick a few that you fancy. James, from Ali Jones, do you have any strange talents, James?
I don't know if I have strange talents. I can walk on my hands.
Talking to ants?
Yeah, that's telepathy. No. I can do basic things. Juggling, any kind of basic performance. I'm pretty like a performing monkey.
Have you got anything like on your hands, or you can show us now, like a talent that you can do? Like some people can do weird things with their face.
No.
Can you do that?
But you obviously can, and I'd like to see that.
I can do this with my tongue.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
And I can move my ears.
That's pretty weird. I think I can move my hair.
Oh, that's good. There you go. Hidden talent.
I have a wig.
There you go. Which one do you fancy? Annie.
Annie says...
Annie loves music.
Yeah, she says, I've heard you don't eat any cereals.
How?
How?
Annie obviously loves cereals. She wants to know, why do you not?
No, I like Ready Brexit, reminds me of being a child. I like Weetabix, reminds me... All cereals just remind me of being a child. Weetabix reminds me of being a child. Crunch Nut Cornflakes reminds me of being a child.
So what do you dig in for Christmas? We're going for Christmas? For breakfast?
I don't actually normally have breakfast. And normally, as a musician, it's my job to wake up about midday and order myself pizza on the fan.
So straight to lunch for James. Let's see who else has been tweeting in to us.
Okay, what was your inspiration for a song called Blue on Blue? And this was asked by Delry TJ. Blue on Blue is a song from Moonlanding, which refers to when soldiers shoot at each other. Soldiers in the same army shoot at each other by mistake. Blue on blue is the same military term, same as friendly fire. But the song is about how we do that in our relationships too. Sometimes we hurt the ones we love the most.
They say that, don't they? We're meant to hurt the ones that you love the most.
I think we do. Not that we're meant to, but that's what we do.
I'm guilty. Let's have a look. Who else has been writing in?
Okay, here I've got a good one. Alessandra M asked me, what is the weirdest gift you've ever received from a fan? I was given a box, and in the box, there was a glass front on the side of it. In the box contained my entire life, scaled down, 1 in 12 or 1 in 14, I'm not entirely sure, like a piano, a guitar, every book I'd ever mentioned that I'd ever read, every CD I've ever said I've ever listened to, pictures from my childhood on it, which on the walls, awards I've won, and every new album I put out. I'm sent another, mini album to put into the box. It's a box of my life. The only thing that's missing from the box is a mini me, and I'm scared that one day I will wake up shrunken and inside the box.
She's done kind of like a "This Is Your Life" for you, which you can keep adding to.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. That sounds like an amazing fan.
Scary as anything.
Oh, so it's the same lady.
Person.
So Alessandra, she's been heavy on the Twitter with us today. She wants to know, what is your favourite gig around the world you've done so far?
Beirut, Lebanon, amazing place at the edge of the Mediterranean there, mix of cultures of Muslim, Christian and Jew, and all kind of everything that goes in that big melting pot. Really absolutely fantastic place.
Wow, that was a very short answer. Okay, we've got one chance for one more from Jenny M. She's saying, hey James, what is your favourite skiing area?
I love skiing. I learnt in a place called Tignes in France, and it's fantastic skiing, and I would go there. Or the next door resort is one called Val d'Isère, and yeah, really good. The first time, actually, my first memory of as a child was skiing in the Troodos Mountains in Cyprus. A weird place.
Wow, I wouldn't think that you had skiing there.
Nor would I. Really bizarre.
Yes. You want to do one more?
I want to go on for a couple more if we can.
Okay.
Are we on a time? You've got to get out of here.
No, I haven't got to get out of here, not at all. We can keep
well,
going.
Because we were a bit late for you, and we do apologise.
Exactly. Shall we go for? Let's have a quick one. Ali Jones here on Twitter. What's your favourite colour?
Doggy style.
Let's go for. Not this one. No, keep going down.
You.
Let's keep going
Just
down.
for pictures.
Here we go. This is a nice one. Laura E. Cummings. She's asking, will you be spending Christmas and New Year with someone special?
Definitely I will. I'll be spending it with my mother and my father, who are very special needs. And I will, that's what Christmas is for, isn't it? It's going home and catching up with the really important people in life. That's what it's designed for. It's for family. I'll do that for Christmas, and then for New Year, I start my world tour in China, Shanghai. Come along. Do you want to come along?
I'm going to come on tour. I'm going to start creating my sign.
Fantastic. And then I'm doing a world tour. So do check out jamesblunt.com and if you fancy it, come do a show.
Yay! I'm sure that everybody that's listening today, they really want to come and watch. So I'm excited about this tour.
Yeah.
One more.
Okay, hold on.
Pick it. Pick a good one.
Okay.
We have got a tweet here from Miranda Ruzidias. She's asking what colour of socks you're using now.
What colour are my socks now?
They're like a navy stripe. Can you see them?
This is actually my old school colours. And
Still rooting for the school.
You can identify which school I was at by the colour of my socks.
And these you actually
someone actually stopped me at the airport a week ago. You know, because in the airport you have to take your shoes off as you're going through security. And someone stopped me and said, "Oh my God, you were at that school, weren't you?"
I didn't know that you could define people by their socks.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Learn something new every day. Right, we've just got about time for some fun, quick-fire questions to finish off with. If you had to summarise your new album with one word, what would it be?
Awesome.
Of course. Now, this is probably my favourite question.
I wish I could say ideal for Christmas, but ideal for Christmas is 3 words. But it is ideal for Christmas too. Really good Christmas presents.
There we go.
You know, for mum or girlfriend, or both.
Mum, girlfriend, sister, all of them. Nan, next door neighbour.
Some men as well in there.
Definitely. It's for everybody. That's what we're trying to say. But this is my favourite question of all time. If you were a kitchen utensil, what would you be?
well, I wouldn't be a knife because I'm blunt. So yeah. Let me think. What is my favourite? I think probably. I do kind of like the cheese grater. I think that would probably, you know.
Why? Why would you be a cheese grater?
Because I'm a little bit of cheese.
I think I'd like to be a spatula.
Really?
Yeah. Because you kind of can get right, you know, dig and flip.
I think that implies kind of proper knowledge of the kitchen of a spatula.
Yeah, and I like the word. It's a nice word.
Whereas I think someone who's grating cheese is someone who doesn't really know what they're doing in the kitchen, and they've just been told, "Look, we need to do that."
It's good for the biceps.
Will you just,
as well.
you know, at least grate some cheese?
Yes. Well, James, it has been an absolute pleasure, and thank you. I'm sure that everyone's really happy with all the advice that you have given, because this is what the new generation is all about. It's helping young, aspiring talent. So thank you for coming in.
Well, any advice I might have given has only been from my very limited knowledge, and you might know a much better part yourself, so ignore it all, but it's been really nice to see you guys here. Thanks for looking out for me.
No, you've been
and
fantastic.
It's been really great fun to be here. See you guys soon. Thank you so much.
See you soon, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
To be bunny.
Hand like that.
The big one is next.
Minaj. Rihanna.
Minaj. And that's the finished product.